Hey everyone, it's Andrew Michael. I'm a broker associate with eXp Realty, and you're watching the Moving to Florida First Coast channel. And today I have a good buddy of mine, Austin Gray, the owner of Gray Home Inspections, and we are going to talk about the top 5 things you need to know from a home inspector standpoint before purchasing a new construction home, and we're going to do it right now. Welcome back. So every day here at the Move to Florida's First Coast team, we help families just like yours with relocating to Florida's First Coast, which is Northeast Florida. So if you're looking to move anytime from right now up to about 100 days, we would love the chance to chat with you, see how we can help. So you can shoot us a text, give us a phone call, or you can click on the link in the description and we can arrange for a Zoom chat where we can meet over Zoom virtually and see how it is that we can help you. Also, if you get any value out of this video, please do us a favor and give us a thumbs up. It helps us get found, and we really appreciate it. And if you want to continue receiving information like this, the best thing you can do is subscribe to the channel. We try to drop 3 videos per week. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce my good friend, Mr. Austin Gray, the owner of Gray Home Inspections. Thank you for agreeing to meet with us today.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. It's going to be fun.
My pleasure. Now, how long have you been a home inspector for?
So 6 years now.
Okay, and only new construction, not talking about resales. How many new construction homes do you think you and your team have inspected?
Myself and my team, over 2,000 inspections. Myself personally, over 1,000 new construction inspections, and specifically in the Northeast Florida area.
Okay, great. So you have inspected over 1,000 homes that are new construction in our area.
That's correct.
Okay, very good. Yep. So we could say you're an expert then.
Yeah.
Now, you've told me before there's 3 stages for home inspections in a new construction process. What are those 3 stages?
Yeah, so that's going to be pre-slab, pre-drywall, and pre-closing inspections.
Okay, so that's say someone purchased a new construction home. Now, sometimes when you buy a new construction home, it's already built. In fact, nowadays with the, what do you call it? With the construction delays and stuff like that, it's actually fairly common. But let's say you're buying a vacant land and you're building a home on it. So you've picked your lot, you've picked your model, and they're going to start building. When is the first time that you would go out?
Yeah, so the first time I would go out would be approximately a week before that slab is poured, and that initial contact should happen within about a week of you signing those papers for that vacant land.
Gotcha. So before the slab is poured, now why do you need to go out before the slab is poured?
Yeah, so the importance of that is basically ensuring that the foundation was dug out correctly before the concrete is poured in its place.
Now, can you see that later if you inspect it once the house is kind of put together?
No, you cannot see that, but you can see the effects of it later.
Now, let's say they didn't pour it correctly, meaning the slab. And by the way, in Northeast Florida, typically there'd be a concrete slab. If you go up north and other places, you see other things. But that's typically what we have here. So let's say they didn't pour it correctly. What does that mean? Like, what could happen?
Yeah, so over time, the homes will settle in different areas. And if basically the footers are not dug deep enough, essentially the weight of that house is going to make the house settle in weird locations over time.
Okay. There you go. So, okay, gotcha. So that's pretty important. So we've got the pre-slab pour. Now the next inspection is pre-drywall. Why is that important?
Yeah, so this is going to be your final chance to find anything in that home that was done incorrectly before they cover it up with insulation and drywall, what you would see in a normal home when you walk in there.
Perfect. Okay. And in the third and final stage, that an inspector would come and inspect a new construction home.
Yeah, so that's going to be pre-closing. This is going to be like a traditional resale inspection. So we're going to be going on the roof, electrical, HVAC, plumbing, the whole gamut.
Okay. So that's number 1 thing that you need to know is the different phases that an inspector can come in and inspect a new construction home. Okay. So the second most important thing that you need to know before purchasing a new construction home is the roof. If the roof is obviously the roof is important, but why is it so important that we get that inspected? I mean, it's a new home. What could go wrong with it?
Yeah, so traditionally what you're going to find on a new construction roof is that the roof is not installed properly, and when those roofs are not installed properly, it voids manufacturer warranties, and you typically don't start to see those issues until the home warranty has expired.
Gotcha. So if it were like a car, and instead of a $30,000 mile warranty, they gave you a 10,000 mile, you might not see this. Okay, I see
right, exactly. Yeah.
So it takes that long. Okay, so the roof inspection. Now, Okay, so if the roof is not properly done, you're not going to know it for several years, and by the time you do, the builder's warranty is void, and the manufacturers won't stand behind it because it was built improperly. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right. And when you're walking and you're looking at a roof, it looks perfect when you're standing there from the ground. But once you get up there and you start walking on top of the roof, that's when you start to find out the problems.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's number 2 is the roof. Now number 3. The number 3 thing you need to know is gas leaks. How common is that? Like, what are we...
Yeah, so you're typically going to find it around 50% of the time. And you'll find them...
like half the time? Are you serious?
Yeah, about half the time.
Okay.
And you're going to find those in different locations. Most of the time it's going to occur where the gas lines are connected into the appliances. So it's not so much you're going to find the gas leaks where they were installed by the utility contractor of the area, but more so where they are attached by the hourly workers, if you will, installing the appliances.
Okay, let's take a look at a cooktop here. Oh, wow. That can...
Yeah, that's a bad
yeah.
one.
Yeah,
That needs to be looked at.
That'll ruin breakfast right there. So, all right, we need to get that checked out. So, all right, so that's the number 3. The number 4 thing that you need to know is footers installed improperly. Now, what is a footer? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, so let's just kind of look at it like this. Essentially, close your eyes and picture that you have a castle or maybe just a big square, something sitting here. Well, what you're going to have around it is like a moat. Okay?
Sure.
And so when you have that moat is basically dug deeper to allow more concrete to sit in those locations, because the engineers designed this home in such a way that the load-bearing portion of those walls sit on the moat, if you will, of the house. Yeah, the footers. So basically that supports the weight of the house. And if those footers are not dug out properly, that's not properly supported, and the house over time will begin to crack and move and settle and cause problems down the road.
Okay, well, we definitely don't want that.
No, I would say no. That's a bad one.
And the number 5 thing that you need to know is insulation issues. Now, again, it's a new home. What are we talking about? Like, what kind of insulation issues could we have?
Yeah, so insulation issues, they are always going to have what's called a measuring stick inside of the insulation. So you're going to see trusses going up, and you'll see a piece of paper that'll be numbered 1 through about 20.
And those numbers are inches.
Those are inches, correct.
Okay.
So an inspector's going to get up into your attic, and we're going to take a look. And a lot of times what will happen is they do what's called spraying the sticks. So they'll take their little gun, and they'll spray insulation up in there, and they'll fluff up those areas on those measuring sticks. Well, when we take our tape measures and we get up there, we'll oftentimes find a foot or a foot and a half away, or even behind those locations, they didn't insulate those areas. So you may only have 4 or 6 inches of insulation, and when you're talking a minimum of 10 or 12 inches that's needed in Florida, that's 50% or less of the insulation that's required.
So okay, so let's say that happens, and my roof doesn't have the amount of the ceiling doesn't have the insulation between the ceiling and the roof, I guess, up in the attic. There's not enough insulation. Like, what happens?
Yeah, so higher utility costs. So in Florida, typically you're going to be turning your air conditioning here 8 to 10 months out of the year, and basically that's going to be running a lot more. If the lack of insulation just basically means that your house is going to get hotter in the summertime and colder in the wintertime. So when you do have to run that heater, it's going to be running more.
That doesn't sound good.
No, I would say that's a bad idea.
Well, there you go. That is thank you, Austin, for inviting us into your office.
Yeah, appreciate it.
That is the top 5 things you need to know before purchasing a new construction home here in St. Johns County, Florida. Now, do me a favor. Again, if you got any value out of this video whatsoever, please do me a favor. Give us a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel. And again, if you are looking to relocate to Northeast Florida, we would love the chance to connect with you. So feel free to send us a text message, give us a call, or click on the link and answer a few questions, and we'll set up a Zoom meeting. And also, if you have any other questions, either for Austin or me, you can put them down in the comments section, and we'd be more than happy to respond.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, and look forward to meeting you.
See you guys.